huge moves on the horizon here in terms of what's going on with both Tesla and Netflix. For the bulls, bullish percent index, something that's helped us kind of maintain this narrative of strength in October so far, has been doing very well. It's a very similar kind of recovery that we saw in March. And for now, it looks like markets are still trying to make that recovery, even in light of breadth being really poor.
So that's obviously a misanalysis. It's not a good analysis, because using historical data to it's a technical analysis is a lot like statistical analysis, and you got to understand that technical analysis is not going to override fundamentals or incoming data or developments that's coming about. Just because you see this upward trend and basically saying, oh, it's going to recover because you have this huge downswing, now it's going to go up. And October has been historically let's take a look at the SPY, historically a good, so essentially what you're saying is that you got this huge downturn, or maybe it's in, let's take a look at that. Is this in the SPX daily, right? So, I mean, that October, so this is in the daily. I don't really see that though. I guess, okay, so I guess he's talking about here, and he snapshots here, and he say, well, look, this downward trend, this like triangle thing, um, coming together, and it bounced off of that. Now it's gonna go down. Now it's gonna go up. I mean, that makes, I don't know how they make these analysis based on just trivial lines that may or may not work out. And saying that October has been historically a strong month doesn't make any sense, when in the beginning he points out that the Magnificent Seven um, has been holding up the, the S&P 500, with the top sevens being, Tesla, Netflix, Google, Apple, Nvidia, and the likes. Microsoft has been strong, but if you exclude them, it has been really, really weak. This is really good data that tells you the market is not behaving very well. And if you look at um, the Russell 2000, which is the small caps, it is doing very bad, and it is actually going toward this lower level. So the market overall is not doing very well. Um, I mean, yeah, I guess it's hard to really analyze it, given that you can look at it one way or the other, but you gotta look at forward-looking analysis is the way I see things, and it's so hard to decipher how to actually break down these analysis, because there's so many. Every one of these channels has very good analysis, but their sentiments of being bullish, like here.
Intraday video instead, so the market is still open and price action is still moving around as I do this analysis. But intraday, we can see that SPY is breaking out from the gap down open, and we are now breaking that resistance, which is just above SPY 437, which means there's a very good chance we're going to start higher towards these gap fills, and we do have that.
I mean, gap fills. I mean, there's 1,000 ways you can do these analysis, and 1,000 indication, and just saying it's gonna fill the gap, it's gonna go up, makes no sense. It makes no sense to me, because you can easily draw a line saying, oh, it's going down, it's below this moving average or this technical indicator. You can use any type of indicator. These are all after the facts analysis. Granted, they are very good as far as the details. They spoken very well. Their articulation is very good, and they point out things that I obviously miss. For example, the VIX. Okay, on my last video, I said the VIX, something is going on. Why is the VIX going higher? Well, the VIX is showing something that I'm thinking is gonna be a precursor to a correction, especially with the 10-year bond going so much higher, right? Now, the VIX came out on Monday and it started going down, right? This gaps down. This is last week, and then it gaps down. I was like, what the heck is going on? And then I look at the analysis. Okay, so Friday it went up because of earnings, right? So both the call options and the puts options were going higher in value. Their intrinsic value, I guess, were higher on both the calls and the puts. So the market maker were moving up the VIX for the earnings. Also, the VIX was expiring on Wednesday. So guess what happened? Because it's expiring on Wednesday, I guess they were some type of, I guess, play on the VIX. Monday it came down, Tuesday it came down, and then it shot up, right? But I held on to my conviction. I did not send a video that says go long, even though anywhere in these points you might think, wow, it's going to go higher. This is a breakout. This is a fast breakout. If you were listening to these videos, right, this gap down and this recovery, you could easily start to go long anywhere, breaking this out, and maybe you decide to hold on to it or add on to it. Well, guess what? You are in a lot of pain because every one of these videos, every single one of these videos, I can play them.
433.25. The low in this candle was exactly 433.20. Immediate rocket ride back in the other direction. Traders.
I can play them. It's going to take too much time, but every one of them pretty much are indicating a bullish sentiment. Which one? Like one of them says, I guess, I don't know which one, but one of them, I'm not going to go and try to find it, but one of them says, well, right now we're at the 20-day simple moving average, right? Not the exponential, the simple moving average. And if you look at the simple moving average, there are some reaction to it, but it's not the strongest technical indicator, especially when you have a huge candle down. It goes down to the 20, it breaks below because of this, right? This is what I was watching for. I was watching for 1500 on the NQ. I was watching this level. My target was actually down to this level, which was incorrect, obviously. I forget why I put that. Let's take a look at why I put that. That's a Fibonacci level. So it's a bad Fibonacci level because it's filling the gap of this guy, which it's not a indecent technical indicator, but it's not the best technical indicator. And let me go back to the daily. So because of that, do I have the daily on? Yes. Because of that, I kind of miss out on this reversal because I did see this, but I was still leaning shorts, right? And the other thing is, your best short, and I know I'm not saying this correctly, but your best shorts was right in this 5-minute trend line that it went and tested or try to get close to it, right? Did it get to it on the SPY? No, it didn't get to it. So oftentimes it doesn't touch it. And you can see it didn't touch it there, but it was close. It was close to it. It was close to it. So that was your opportunity to short or right here to short, right? But if you have a bullish sentiment, because every one of these stock channels are saying bullish and continue to say bullish, well, guess what? How are you going to short thinking because sometimes this 5 minute, it's actually a trap and it goes higher. Likewise with here, it goes higher. So Wednesday is reversal Wednesday, and sometimes you're thinking, well, it's going to reverse. No, reversal Wednesday means it's going to reverse with the opposite trend, and the trend of the week was that it was going up, right? If you look at the trend of the week, it was going up. So reversal Wednesday, I think it was yesterday. Yeah, right here, right? So this whole trend of this week was going up. Yeah. So Monday, Tuesday. So reversal Wednesday, the trend was gonna go down. Now it could have went to low of day. Oftentimes it did that. It didn't go to low of day because there was earnings with Netflix and there was earnings with Tesla. So Netflix has good earnings, okay? And I'm not gonna play the video on Netflix. Um, so I'm just gonna summarize it. Essentially, they're saying they had good subscribers from their new password sharing things, and they're gonna increase their price premium on their basic plan and their premium plan. Their forecast might be a little bit weak on their EPS, or maybe it's their, yeah, I think it was their EPS, but overall, they said good things, right? I mean, higher subscriber counts, and also increasing their premium package and basic package. So I'm looking to buy Netflix or perhaps to sell a put option, right? Selling one put option, dated out. It should be a decent runner. Now, the tricky thing is the market is extremely negative right now, and rightfully so. And I was telling everyone in these videos that these numbers matters, and no one really even pay attention to them, right? These numbers where the consumer sentiment is lower, so the consumer sentiment is lower in in October. So what does that mean? I mean, it means it was unexpected. It's a big lower number, right? I think, and the CPI was slightly higher. Actually, the CPI is Michigan. I'm sorry, the Michigan was higher, but the CPI was also higher right here, right? The CPI, the PPI. So you got more inflation and lower consumer sentiment. That's going to take a while to wash out of the brains of the investors. So what do we have going forward? So this week, right? This week, you have the retail sales being higher. Is that good or bad? I don't know. I mean, it can be say that if the retail sales is higher, that's not necessarily good with lower consumer sentiments, because the consumer sentiment is this could be retail. These retail sales could be because of inflations, right? So the consumer sentiment is low, but the retail sale is higher. Is that because of inflation? I don't know. So how do you interpret that? I don't know yet. Oh, I don't know. But I knew the housing market was going to be lower, and here it is. The housing starts were going to be lower. And the building permits, this really didn't matter. It's really the housing starts, lower housing starts. So that's really bad number. Housing starts. I mean, the trend isn't too bad, but it's lower. So that's also bad number. Here it is on Wednesday. So I think the reaction to it pretty much. Let's take a look at the reaction to it. I'm pretty sure it was lower. I gotta look at the SPY actually. So pre-market, here it is, right? There it is, right? So somewhere here, right? The number came out, boom, it started going lower. So it is actually a negative reaction. A lot of times you got to look at these reactions to this number. This is at 7:30, right? So where is 7:30? Right here. So right there, it started to react lower. That's already telling you the sentiment for the day is going to be negative. It gapped down and get rid of the extended hour. It gapped down, went up to the 5, and pretty much went toward the low of the day with a bounce at the close to be at the 20-day moving average. So what do we have for Thursday and Friday? Now, this week is option expiration. I don't think it's triple witching, but it is option expiration. I think, let me see, October is the 10th, so 11, 12, 11, 12, 10, 11, 12. No, it's not triple witching, but it is a key option expiration third, and the volatility index was expired today. So you got a potential bounce for tomorrow. When will it bounce? It's gonna be hard to say. So I mean, I'm thinking it's going to have to retest this 1500 tomorrow. Um, so you got these numbers here that it's going to try to play. Let's see if there's any economic data tomorrow. You got the Feds, right? I forgot about that. There's so much things to consider, but you can't forget something like the Fed speaking. So you shouldn't even buy anything. If you do buy in the morning, you gotta close it out prior to Bernanke, because a lot of times Bernanke would say bad things, and I believe the war they're gonna address this Israel and Palestinian tension, and in general, war creates inflations, right? Because it just disrupts supply chains and whatnot. So is Bernanke going to speak in favor of trying to reduce inflation, trying to help out Israel? And to do that, they got to lower the cost of goods and supplies and goods shipments, lower the cost of oil, lower the cost of cargo expenses and everything. Just essentially lower the prices overall. It's just too expensive right now. If you want to help out Israel or any other countries that are in need of lower goods and services, well, you're gonna have to be hawkish as far as the Fed statements and as far as their policy. Granted, I forgot, this is the Magnificent Seven. I don't need to talk about that. I think, let me see. Granted, the Fed rate monitor. This thing is surprisingly not going the other way. This is almost 100%. So essentially, the November meeting is going to be 100% zero rate cut. I mean, zero rate hike. And the next meeting in December, 62% of no rate hike, higher than it was the previous day. So it's still trending. Where's the trend? Where's the graph for this guy? Here it is. So it's just still trending higher. Let's take a look at it again. Yes, it's still trending higher. I am actually kind of surprised at that. Every meeting coming, and there's probably a better chart that shows it, but every meeting so far is indicating a higher probability of no rate increases, and I just find that hard to believe. But I'm gonna have to believe in the data. I would love Bernanke to increase the rate, but hey, he's not gonna do it apparently. However, that doesn't matter. The bonds are still showing a signal. The VIX is still showing a signal. And yeah, I'm continue to be bearish. Now, when will I turn bullish? It's going to be hard to say. And the reason why, I mean, like this week, I mean, Tesla, its numbers are bad, right? So now Tesla essentially is at the 200-day moving average. Do you buy here? I don't know. Will it bounce? Maybe, maybe not. I mean, intraday you can play it. It's hard to say. Can you sell a call and a put options? I mean, I guess you can. or you can do a leverage. I don't, some type of buying the long and buying the short, and then playing on the bounce or the movement, I guess, knowing that you can be wrong either way. So when it comes out tomorrow, it's gonna be right here essentially, right? And you can also play the pre-market, I guess. Now, when it comes out, it can dip and then recover to it, or it can go up right away and then go down. The safest play to me would be to wait, see if there's an immediate bounce and try to time something to short. That would be the play. It's very difficult, obviously, because no one knows what level it's going to go up to. You can dollar cost average the short, I guess, but it's leaning short is the play to make. Um, let's look at some of the earnings that's coming up. So you got some of these. Which one is coming up? The Netflix, Tesla, Abbott Lab is higher. Bank of America is decent. And it's, some of these Magnificent Seven. You can see the Magnificent Seven is taking a little bit of a pause. And Nvidia next week, I'm sure Nvidia next week is going to be the earnings. Well, yeah, well, no, it's still a long way off. But Apple will be next week. On the second, wow, I guess it would be Microsoft that's coming up. Yeah, so it'd be Microsoft on the 24th. Okay, that's the big one. And I'm sure Google is going to be releasing earnings on the 24th. I like Google, but it is so freaking expensive. Why is Google so expensive? I don't know why it's so expensive. It's just an expensive stock. So saying you liking it really doesn't mean much because it's an expensive stock, and that's why you like it, because it's a good stock, and everybody knows it's a good stock, and that's why it's all the way up here. So you can't get any discount on these premium stock that are outperformers like Google. So that's that, right? I don't think I can play it, but I'm sure I'm missing something else. There's so much data and so much information that you can look at that is so difficult to determine what exactly is going to happen near term and also long term. I don't look at long term that often because it's unpredictable in my determination. I do see right now, let's look at the MACD. It is starting to go down on the Dow. So it's probably negative on the Qs as well, negative on the IWM, negative on the SPY. I'm pretty sure the SPX is going negative. Composite, yep, Dow Jones. So there you have it, right? And if you look at the weekly, well, the weekly is pointing a upward trend. So on the MACD, here's the weekly, right? I mean, these are clearly showing a higher trend, except for the Nasdaq, the Russell 2000. So what do you believe? I mean, do you believe in the daily or do you believe in the weekly? Well, I tend to believe the daily more than the weekly because this doji candle may not finish yet, right? So they're trying to finish lower on this doji candle. So I'm thinking Thursday is already below the 60-minute. So I am still bearish for Thursday. And that meeting with Powell might even bring it to a low of day. So we're talking about a test of this 200-day moving average. Friday may even be a test of this trend line. So you're talking about Thursday and Friday being down here, and then a recovery, way bounce because of option expiration. So that to me would be what I am playing for, right? I don't not sure what the other analysis are right now. I haven't seen any of the new analysis, but all the old analysis has been bullish, and I'm sure no one is going to release a video right now saying, let's go short the market or let's be bearish, because they see things like this 20-day moving average, or they may be looking at, they'll look for indicators that they want to look for as far as a reversal or a bullish sentiment, because everybody has been bullish. It's very difficult to be bearish for whatever reason, or to be neutral in sentiment. Let's look at the 60 minute. So the 60 minutes still is in the red. I don't see any indication right now other than the SMY, I mean the semiconductor, and I believe TSMC is reporting earnings tomorrow. So TSMC, uh, you know, it's not TSMC, it's TSM, I believe, Taiwan Semiconductor. So yes, it's reporting earnings tomorrow. Man, it could miss, right? It could, and it's after the close. I believe it's after the close. So yes, this could be another negative sentiment. I don't have any reason to believe why TSMC, Taiwan Semiconductor, is gonna beat earnings just uh, because they have an earning calendar tomorrow. I don't see any reason why that is the case. To be bullish at least. So yeah, what am I missing anything else? Let me see. Semiconductor. I mean, yeah, the financial has been good in the earnings, but that doesn't matter, right? If you look at the financial, yes, the earnings has been good, and that is why, maybe that is why, uh, maybe that is why a lot of the analysis has been bullish, because I believe Monday, a lot of the earnings came out and they were positive, and therefore, they were saying, oh, it's going to be bullish. I don't know. I don't see, you know, I see these as false indicator often, because we don't really care about the financial. I mean, once they make the move, it is after the fact. It's already too late as far as going forward. So, is there anything else I may be missing going forward? So, the option has been extremely high in volume, and you can see it right here, right? You can see those puts. I was seeing those puts coming in. I was like, oh, this is bearish. This is absolutely bearish, right? And for the day at least. And they end up, I don't think these are actually correct. Maybe it is correct, but it was spiking up, right? And then all these guys, they wasn't really buying it that much. Let me see if that is the case on the 5 minute. They did buy at the end, right? So there was some buying at the end, some buying at the end. Here, 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 right? Not too much, just basically here. And tomorrow, what you got? You got some buying here. But I don't think any of these really matters right now, because the movements tomorrow is going to dictate what is going to happen. I think Tesla, the bad news on Tesla, I think that people are going to digest that, and they're going to ignore Netflix, because Netflix was an independent um I guess it's a company specific beating in the sense that they did good because of their own internal performance or what they did strategically with the password sharing, removal of the password sharing, and increasing their price premium and whatnot. So that is company specific. I don't think that indicates anything as far as the overall market sentiment, whereas Netflix or Tesla actually does, and Tesla um, going out and not meeting their numbers and saying their supplies are going to miss and the forecast is going to miss, that is going to be pretty negative for the market. I'm expecting more negative, running up to, but running up to not Alan Greenspan. Oh, geez, what's that guy named? Powell, running up to Powell's speech. And like I said, it's probably going to be a 2 day movement, right? Thursday, Friday, and then a bounce. So leaning shorts, leaning negative, selling call options, maybe leveraging with a sell of a put option on Netflix, maybe some play of like sell a call option on Tesla, sell a no, I'm sorry, yeah, sell a call option on Tesla, sell a put option on Netflix. It's kind of tricky, right? Because these guys can move, so your timing is going to be very important. But overall, I'm going to stick with the basic and lean shorts and continue to lean shorts until probably I hope to see a reversal on Friday. And I'll probably have to look at next week data to determine whether I will be leaning forward on next week, right? What do we have next week that indicates anything to me that there's going to be a bounce or a bullish sentiment? I don't see it right now. Yeah, right now I don't see it. I probably have to look at more data and determine, hey, you know what, it can always starts to go really, really bad and break below this and just start running down. I mean, straight line analysis is a real thing, right? Like, I mean, it's sometimes it's just go straight line down. So any bulls that are trapped, it's going to be painful, especially if it goes below this line. And I think that line meets up with, I guess, right here, right? With yeah, that line kind of meet up with this whole, this is the 50-week moving average, I believe. Yes, it is. And it also meet up with the 200. Wow, I didn't even see that. Right? You always find out something new. Look at that. This 50 and this 200. No, that's a line. I'm sorry. Yeah, that's a line. That's not a 200. Where's the 200? Right down here. So the 50 is gonna meet up with this line. Maybe that's something where the target is, uh probably go below it, you know, probably go below it and then reverse up. And I'm not sure if I'm gonna lean positive the for next week or not. But for right now, I'm obviously gonna play Thursday, Friday, and maybe an afternoon reversal.